Dire team pick.
Outworld Devourer.
Radiant team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Dusk.
Radiant team pick.
Hello, we're back again, game number 2. Well, sorry, our second best of 1. We do have best of 1s throughout the WePlay... Please, press the button, do the things. Best of 1 throughout the WePlay Season 3 group stage, still in SEA. Our second best of 1 of the day, TNC up against Execration. And TNC, they've got some work to do. They definitely have some serious work to do. They're not looking too hot in the group stages, neither are Execration. This is a team that's not been performing amazingly well over the past couple of days, and honestly, I think it comes down to a few little drafting issues. Picking unusual heroes here and there. Their lanes often look good, but they have come up against some very high caliber teams. Playing against your Maneskis, your MVPs, had a lot of their tougher matches in the initial stages, which sometimes is quite unfortunate for you. Get things under your wing, but the draft so far progressing pretty nicely. Can introduce my co-caster, Heen. Think about the openers from these two teams.
Although the first pick, it's been on the rise in popularity in pubs. Especially, I think what happens often is people develop research heroes in pubs, like solo ranked MMR. And they get a good, comfortable feeling of a hero, and then they start using it in matches. And I've been, quietly stalking some of my friends who are high up on the MMR bracket, and there's a lot of OD, and I was surprised that how come this hero's being picked so much in pubs, but not so much in matches. And I think we're starting to see it confidently picking OD first phase. It pretty much beats anything at mid, realistically, or has ways to deal with it.
5 seconds
and
remaining.
I think TNC must have been watching last game, and they saw the power of OD, and they have at least 2 good OD users between Raven and Teehee, I think.
Yeah.
So they snap picked that OD by a Chen, so maybe another Deathball type of Dota, as we saw last game, where it was a bounty hunter, kind of creating space, and taking map control, but this time it might be through Chen's level 6 timing and mech timing. They're gonna win their lanes and that momentum going. Take over the entire map by like 20 minutes.
If they can accomplish that realistically, I mean, OD, it kind of comes down to like one of the first matches we saw from this stage where Maneski picked OD, and I think from there, MVP and TNC, like you're saying, they've been playing it in pubs, but never felt comfortable with, builds. It's probably one of the bigger things. Laning matchups, you have a good idea, this can beat that, but item builds are kind of finicky on heroes like OD, where we've had so many in the past. We used to see Midas full staff, we used to see originally Tranquil's mech build OD, that we don't see at all nowadays. Now it's like Treads Drums, 4-staff, Rod of Atos, Shiva Guard, going for the Hex. Blink Dagger from QO is kind of a flavor that he added himself. We don't see that a lot from other players. Extra bit of chasing power for the OD, which sometimes he can lack.
5
But
seconds
TNC,
remaining.
past couple of games, they've tried to be a little bit greedier on their supports. I think in a previous game they had like Dazzle plus Visage. But Visage was a 5-roll. Dazzle got a lot more of the gold and things like that. With a Chen though, he'll be able to utilize more of the map. Get that jungle going. Chen into his Arcane's mech. Control mid lane, give OD a good time. That's definitely imperative here for the Outworld Devourers, making sure that even if his mid matchup 1v1 isn't great, and even though Tusk and Venge are very good roaming heroes onto the OD, probably why Execration have picked them up, we're going to have a decent, the OD a good laning stage. So far, Undying banned out, something that Execration have run a hell of a lot, is Undying plus something dual off lanes, which really can be incredibly annoying. Where they're going to head from here, because there's kind of two avenues, right? You can continue down like minus armor and aura strats. You don't have a Beastmaster, but or a Juggernaut. You could head into the Slardar if you wanted to. The Vengeful Spirit plus Dazzle isn't a bad combination either. Kind of an aggressive support and a defensive one, both can save each other. But what's your thoughts on this? Like, early on doesn't really lend himself. Oh, never mind. I was going to say Tusk early on doesn't really necessarily go straight towards the lane or straight towards support. It's kind of open, but an enigma for Execration.
Yeah, I was gonna say I get the feeling that Execration picked these two heroes, so Tusk and Vengeful, as like to secure their comfort zone. These two heroes don't really come to mind when I see OD or Chen. Of course, they picked these two heroes, and then TNC picked Chen, but
10 seconds remaining.
I felt like their main strategy is going to start third pick,
5
which
seconds
is already an enigma. Knowing that TNC has a Chen, both sides are gonna play greedy, and
Reserve time.
they think TNC don't have what do you call it? They won't have enough heroes to pressure the enigma because Chen has to do his own thing. Neither side, neither the Tusk or Venge doesn't. They don't really do well against Chen's timing pushes. As you mentioned, they can control the lanes pretty well. They're aggressive, they're mobile. But once you have those 4 creeps and you're backed by a mech, Hand of God, these type of heroes generally don't offer too much because they're single focus and they're very committal, like Nether Swap or Snowball. You go in and guy doesn't die because Chen healed him for like 500 hits and lose a team fight.
Yeah, they've got tons of control. A little bit of new damage, the kind of nuke from Magic Missile plus Ice Shards is decent. But the damage output really has to come from the rest of the cores, because right now, Execration, they've got a jungler that can kind of match Chen's farm speed, the Enigma can get a quick mech, then you can start teamfighting on your own. Spirit and Tusk have the control and teamfight lockdown CC that you need. You don't have that additional actual overwhelming power force here from Execration, and I'm kind of wondering what it's going to be. Like, do you go more early game focus to get in with this Enigma mech timing, like 12 minutes in, you start pushing into towers? Gyro honestly would have been a good pick for Execration here. Out of their hands by TNC. Could start to look for maybe more late game options, thinking about your Ember Spirits, your heroes like that. A little bit of time building up into your bigger items. No, they go all in. They go for the Death Push timing, so they're going to have Death Prophet, Enigma Mech, Venge and Tusk, the repositional heroes, both defensive and aggressive. Like you're mentioning, they can commit heavily aggressively, or they can allow Death Prophet to commit onto a tower and then try and save them back with Swap and Snowball. So that's a lot of damage and lots of early game lane winning focus here from Execration so far.
Yeah, I think Execration has the choice to make whether it's to bust this timing window of TNC where they're strongest, or kind of dodge fights.
Witch Doctor.
But seeing as how they already picked up the
Radiant team ban.
It's like they're going to play smart. Like, they have to respect the gyro and the Chen factor transitioning into mid game. So I'm not sure if they're gonna do a heads-on clash, because for the first 10 to 20 minutes of the game, it might be really hard for Enigma to get a good black hole off, whereas Chen will almost always be guaranteed a good ult. So we can see maybe if they see Chen move to one side, P's gonna go to the other side and maybe try to trade towers.
And the Wraith King TNC. And the Wraith King, Execration like to run that Wraith King in the safe lane 1 role, and that is a hero that can get up and running early game with his ultimate, the kind of 2-cycle factor of Wraith King. Get 2 lives in the fights, and there's the ban. There's the ban.
Radiant team.
I really like that. Like, that shows knowledge of Execration's playstyle, the way they like to run heroes. I really like the Wraith King ban there, but they go straight back in for the Sven. They had a plan B. They're going to take that one up. Now, TNC, we're missing an offlane hero here. Sam H. Nature's Prophet's gone, Broodmother's gone, Tidehunter's gone. There's no Nyx Assassin, there's no Undying or Batrider. Faceless Void is still out there, man. Faceless Void is still out there.
Not sure about Faceless Void because the Chrono is really good against Enigma. some kind of BKB control for
10
Enigma in
seconds
case the
remaining.
game gets prolonged, then Enigma picks up a BKB.
5 seconds.
I get the feeling that
remaining.
Faceless Void's Chrono has too long of a cooldown, whereas Gyro and OD are almost always online. And this is kind of classic TNC. They pick that, range. Usually, with like offlane heroes can shapes and forms, but they tend to come in like the selfless. They tend to be tanky, melee. They start a fight. They can afford to die. They're gonna go for the Queen of Pain offlane on Sam H. So I'm really interested to see how they're gonna kite around. I mean, this is a very scary lineup. They have a lot of stuns. They have like 5 stuns. He gets the Yules into Silence and Atos, or the third spell, the Spirit Siphon.
Yeah.
Or is it? Yeah, that pretty much acts as a stun.
10
Oh,
seconds remaining.
Yeah, I want to see how TNC are going to be able to
5 seconds
fight
remaining.
or basically not fight into this.
That's a good point. Sam H, he plays as Nature's Prophet. He's more of a playmaker, a damage dealer from the offlane. He's Nature's Prophet, Queen of Pain, his Broodmother even, rather than your kind of regular lane heroes that provide more utility and, like you say, initiation. We might have to remake. The admin was telling us in the lobby previously that TNC do have a few issues with servers, but yeah, no need. Good stuff. But TNC at Dire side, I don't think there's too much difference in their lineup, Dire or Radiant side. Maybe, like, Queen Pain offlane on the Dire side, does she do better than Radiant just because of the extra camp?
Which extra camp?
Sorry, like more like the camps being sort of closer to her side. Easier for Dire offlane to contest the pull camp and leech experience from that area.
Thank God.
Radiant side of the jungle, Dire. But I don't know what the Queen of Pain's plan is going to be.
Oh, I was watching out for an Iron Talon and the Queen of Pain next level stuff, but it's gonna be the regular Talisman start. This game and last game is that they don't have any. I mean, the Chen has to rotate early if the Queen of Pain wants to get levels, because Venge and Sven can be very threatening for the Queen of Pain. She only has one set of tangos, and every time they chain stun, she is going to drop very low. So we're going to invade the jungle, possibly to block the camp and disrupt Enigma. Sort of greedy, because usually when you have a jungler on each team, both sides kind of like, it's like a unspoken truth to just kind of farm your own jungle, but now they're invading, blocking their camp, and imagine Chen's gonna go back to his camp and be happy there. It's a weakness of Enigma, right? He can't easily switch jungles, whereas Chen doesn't. He's not gonna lose HP at all.
Can't necessarily aggressively jungle with an Enigma as well as you can with a Chen. Now, one observer ward got placed here.
The battle begins.
That doesn't block out, does it? I don't believe it blocks.
I don't think it blocks either camp.
Killed fake out. Blocked it all. Moving Raven down towards his bottom lane, so Gyrocopter, aggressive jungling Chen, and a Witch Doctor down on his bottom lane. Well, where are you going to be heading? RR, it's going to be a tough old time for you, honestly, because down at bottom lane, sure, we've got the Sven plus Venge. Full lane, ranged, melee. A lot of punishment from these double-ranged heroes here from Gyro plus the Witch Doctor. I mean, Vengeful Spirit, low range, you've got the stuns. You have the survivability in this lane, because then you've got a Queen of Pain 1v1. Top, Sam H against EA, the Quap against Tusk, and they've left the DP 1v1 up against the OD. Where Teehee maybe can start to bully this lane out a little bit.
Yeah, again, I thought being an end hero, the OD might have picked up the Arcane Orb, but I'm not, to be honest, I haven't played much OD myself, so I trust that Teehee's playing the way he's comfortable.
I'm not certain about that build either. Full on Astral, it's not a massive amount of damage. Pretty high mana cost, honestly.
I mean, it's the best spell for guaranteeing yourself CS early on, but
And then you can kind
it
of
costs so much mana.
Spirit Siphon as well, Soul Siphon even. Oh, it is Spirit Siphon by, you know, Astral, then run away. Great. A bit of punishment, but AU just takes up another one. Sata is there. Damage. Force Sven plus Venge onto this tower. Sven, 3 last hits. Garacopter gets himself 8. We're doing though, over to the side, he's waiting for this 2-minute rune, but the Chen waiting for him, and these little Eidolons running around, just walking into a Chen creep. It's a rough time for all of Execration's lanes. Now, in a situation like this, you lanes, like you try and force the Sphere of Venge back up the top and put the Tusk down here, or do you just deal with it and wait it out?
Well, I think it's sort of too late to deal with it. I mean, they should have had a better plan to basically read the movement before it happens. Already more than 2 minutes into the game, and this ward that they put when TNC walked into the Radiant jungle, it sort of answers our question now about their intentions. They intended Queen of Pain to have an easy lane, and they got that through the safe lane, but they don't want to block the camps because we mentioned that Enigma doesn't have such an easy time switching jungles, or his ability to help lanes is very dependent on how many Eidolons he has and how much timer they have left. But with this ward, they're gonna know exactly when the Enigma makes a rotation, and if they wait it out, then you know the Eidolons are gonna time out and he's useless again. Oh, Sven, did you see that?
I was watching the Venge. I thought, like, I saw the 2 fights break out. The Sven backed himself away. The Witch Doctor and Chen kind of chased him through the creep wave, and he was fine. I looked back towards the Venge, who did actually die under the tower because the Gyro Witch Doctor switched their focus. They moved across for the easy kill. What? How did Sven die?
Well, he was kind of, yeah, he was playing around with the Chen creeps, but if you notice, it's a Hellbear and the Satyr. So what happened was AU, he triple nuked them with the 2 creeps and the Test of Faith, and I guess the Test of Fate proc for a lot of damage. He just died with.
This is a level 5 Chen with arcane boots and 600 gold to spare from that 1 kill, pretty much. Oh my goodness, that's not a start you want to give a Chen. 4 minutes in, and he's already 24 last hits and 2,100 net worth. They're gonna go in again. So, Warcry's pop to get himself a little bit further away. This bottom lane is a heavy win for TNC. Sven cannot farm, Enigma can't rotate in, can't help out too much. And the Vengeful Spirit has now wandered up towards the lane. I can get a kill over on the OD with the help of Death Prophet. He has his boots and bottle up and running. Play aggressively into the DP here. It's another kill down the bottom lane. Sven drops. Oh my goodness.
I think Sven has to leave the lane now because
He in mid in a little bit of trouble. He turns and fights. Abed, another 2 hits. That's going to be a death. Oh, Abed does. Very far pop. Yeah, there we go. Bait out the hits. He'll turn back into RR. The Enigma's coming to try and help out. We're going to be able to escape here pretty safely. Oh, Queen of Pain. No, that's not the blink. That's not the blink, Sam H. Chain stun down. Kill as DP denies herself to neutrals. Flying out as much as he can.
Radiant's bottom
that was a nice rotation by Sven, but he had to leave bottom anyway. The point I wanted to make was after Sven died the first time, you noticed that the Enigma was farming very far away from the safe lane, showing that he had no intentions of going to help that lane, realizing that there's a high chance that it was warded, and even if he shows up, it's going to be a gamble that whether he's going to be able to make something happen. And at the same time, Venge was at middle. He also left Sven, but Sven kind of didn't communicate properly with his team, or the vice versa. And Sven unfortunately died the second time there. And now they're sort of in a tough spot because where does Sven and Venge go from here? They're still so under leveled. Tusk got level 6, but going to be awkward for Sven to go back to top now against this high level Queen of Pain.
It's kind of what I was saying during the draft. I like Execration's drafts. I think they've got a lot of good ideas as Venge just Chen. Doctor. But like if you look at these 2 drafts in a vacuum, TNC have a slightly stronger one overall. Execration have let themselves down with laning configuration and the way they've kind of attributed their roles and things like that. TNC obviously did a good job shutting down jungle and playing aggressively in this tri-lane here as they've done. Like the 2.5 heroes, the Chen, Doctor, and Oro are actually going to smoke up and wrap around in on this Sven. Sven, are you moving forward here? He goes for the deny. Oh, pops. Offering will throw the tornado out. Sven, stun. You have to just turn and stun. You're dead now. With the golem throwing out the boulder toss, he tries to stun them up, but it's all just too late.
Poor Sven, I mean, all that damage he took with his all magic damage, Warcry doesn't help too much.
Tragedy. Now what are they getting out of these other lanes? So DP has hit level 7. Bottled up.
Radiant's
Still
bottom
looking at an
tower is
Outworld
under
Devourer
attack.
here. Has pretty much the same net worth, you know, they're just
Or
trading
at top.
farm. They're not doing
Oh,
snowball,
I think they got him. We need stuff.
And they've got a black hole as well if they really need to, but with 8 seconds on that CD,
Losing my
if Pain will
voice.
die.
Scared to go another
Rotation.
Oh, they got the kill and they took out Hand of God.
Make anything happen in bottom lane? Nope, not at all.
Radiant's
Hando
structures
Sven.
are
Still, yeah, it's
fortified.
still super hard because
Radiant's bottom tower
Sven
is
doesn't,
under
I mean,
attack.
no one can really take back control of their own
Radiant's
jungle.
bottom tower
And the
has
other
fallen.
solo laners on TNC were Queen of Pain at top and OD at mid, which are really annoying heroes to gank because the Queen of King can blink away. I think just now if Sam H blinked in the right spot, he would have flipped, but he got stuck in the trees and he's gonna die again.
Black hole comes out. Sam H respawns, TPs, and dies. An annoying hero to kind of lane against and deal with, but if you're offending black holes and magic missiles to kill him off, I mean, 8 minutes in, that's well worth it. Pushing on for this tier 1.
Dire's
Eidolons
top
get...
tower
Oh, there we
is
go.
under attack.
Eidolons get thrown out with a catapult wave here on top of it. Tons of damage, so that, you know, TNC have taken down tier 1 and tier 2 at bottom lane, and they're actually wrapping
Dire's
in
top tower has
and
fallen.
kill off this Death Prophet. I don't know if they can get the initiation
Are
they
they?
need, though. The stun isn't there from the Witch Doctor. The Ice Shard will block the advance. The trouble is, bottom lane is kind of like a no-go zone. Sven is stuck close to his tier 3 on this ramp where the tier 2
Radiant's
used to
middle
be.
tower is under
can feel
attack.
This is usually the kind of picture you see offlaners in, right? You get your towers push both your towers, which really even that for offlaners. This guy's he's the #1 position carry on his team. Both his towers are dead, and he's trying
Radiant's
to he's
middle tower is under
basically
attack.
catching up right now. Whereas like he probably imagined going into this game he's gonna have free farm,
Radiant's middle tower has
Oh,
then he got
fallen.
aggroed.
They found the Venge with a double boulder toss. They're gonna get the stun down as well. The nukes there. Cooldown will catch on to one. The snowball sends Tuscan a little bit further, but the Venge actually still surviving. The flat cannon hit will come through. You kill him off though, Teehee. Aggressively playing forward, looking for the catch onto the.
That was a nice snowball from Tusk. He didn't snowball the hero, he did it really in front of the creep.
Dire's bottom tower
Nice
is
try,
under
but
attack.
Arrow, Raven was on point. That can.
Or at least here for Execration. Ben is farming away. Soon to be Helmut Dominator. Then he can start stacking Ancients, which that we haven't really touched on. In Europe and the CIS region in particular, Sven has been a super important hero for a bunch of teams. Where they stick him safe lane, they get Spreads, Helm of the Dominator, and then they stack Ancients a ton of times. So by 20 minutes, Sven has like 20k net
Dire's
worth, you know,
middle
some
tower
insane
is
number,
under attack.
and he just out-maneuvers and
structures are
out-itemizes anyone on the opposing team. I don't know if Sven's going to have the greatest time this game. He's 0-3, he's not going to have the great burst start or the incredible net worth jumps that you kind of usually get from these Svens, but he's still going to have a pretty good time building into these
Dire's
items
middle
if the rest of
tower
the
has
team
fallen.
can keep these towers falling, because you've nearly got Mech on Enigma, you've almost got Yules on the Death Prophet, and we're reaching the period where Execration hit their stride and can actually go and team fight.
They're actually doing pretty well right now, or rather TNC has made a few hiccups.
Dire's top tower is under
Gyrocopter, even
attack.
though he's 2-0 and you know his lane was pretty easy for him, this is sort of what happens when you have an aggro gyro. I mean, level 8 at 10 minutes, 11 minutes
Dire's
isn't so
top
bad,
tower
but
is under attack.
the items, he just got his drums picked up on the career, but he kind of seemed poor. And it looks like TNC is not going to allow another tower, especially the tier 2, coinciding with their jungle.
Instantly we see the TP's back. They realize, right, we've pushed them hard up on this lane. The issue is they can't really farm mid. The lane is very kind of equalized, exactly in the river. There's no safe place to farm there, but Sven at the very least does regain control of bottom lane, maybe even into his jungle. Right now we're seeing TNC utilize these pretty aggressive wards. One of them's going to expire towards mid. The aggressive one deep in the jungle that's watching for these farming patterns.
TNC just smoked under Execration's ward.
Oh dear. Ward from Execration, gonna see it.
I think,
I
yeah,
guess
they're just gonna go Roche though.
Execration here probably think, oh, Sven, run away. They're gonna try and gank the Sven. You're right, straight into the Roche pit. Is this something that they can contest?
I don't think so. I mean, they need the DP ult for sure. They do have Flagpole, but I mean, the Enigma doesn't have the mech or Blink Dagger to get a good jump in.
Roshan has fallen to the
Jump
dark.
in. If they try to contest, they're gonna get owned by Call Down and.
Land that Sanity's equips actually, yeah. They've got a lot of big AoE abilities here. The one thing that TNC maybe are missing, that kind of synergy spell, like the vacuum, RP, you know, that big ulti to bring people together and control them up, but
Quick kill on Witch Doctor.
small sun, dead, and dead. Nice little bit of gold there going the way of DP, so that pushes her closer to her secondary item. Could be the drums, could be the phase boots, the boots of travel, rod of Asos. We're seeing lots of different itemizations from these kind of newer heroes. And there's always that period of time, right, when now that Death Prophet and OD are getting played more and more, people haven't min-maxed them. People haven't found that sweet spot where this
Dire's
itemization is
top
going to
tower
work,
is under
you know,
attack.
90% of the time, or this is the best item for this situation. People are still trying to kind of feel it out and where they're heading.
I think what naturally happens when a hero hasn't been fully figured out is people just stick to preference, like, you know, Blink Daggers. People just can't play without Blink Dagger because they're creative or they play more risky. But as a hero gets more and more figured out, individual players will kind of adapt to what's more successful, and a certain build's gonna surface to the top as being the build, and players are gonna make adjustments so that they might have played until then with comfort set of items. But for now, I think I agree with you that DP
Dire's
can go
bottom
for.
tower
I think
is
he's going
under
for Octarine. I thought he might go for the Atos as well.
Octarine Core, okay. Oh yeah. What we've seen in Europe is like Octarine Core comes out as kind of like a third or fourth item.
Dire's bottom tower has
I mean,
fallen.
it's great for exorcism. You know, you get the
Radiant's top
HP
tower
life
is
steal,
under
you get
attack.
the good storm as
Dire's
well, but you get the
bottom
cooldown
tower is
reduction.
under attack.
Takes it down to like 100 seconds or 150 seconds, like that.
Yeah,
Uh,
something along those lines. I mean, Octarine
Radiant
Core is no doubt
structures are
super good on
fortified.
DP, but it's just
Dire's
the build up,
bottom
right?
tower
Yeah.
is
It's,
under
the
attack.
soul booster into
Radiant's
the Mystic
top
Staff
tower
is so
under-
expensive.
Radiant's top tower is
It's
fallen.
sort of awkward to get it as a second item unless you're having a very good game.
Tend to see even sometimes people going for Bloodstone. I mean, that opportunity here, the
Dire's
DP
bottom tower is under attack.
Bloodstone without.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Couldn't. It may not necessarily be a rush into it. Be kind of casual point boosted now. Oh god, this is pretty big for TNC actually. They found the ancient stack. I was pointing it out earlier for the Sven. They built this up just for the Sven, and TNC stealing this.
Dire's
They're
middle
losing their
tower
tier
is
2
under
bottom lane and
attack.
might be able to get the swap. No, he backed himself away.
Dire's bottom tower
But this was meant to be Sven's way back into the game. But not only that, it was meant to basically leapfrog him from being equal now with a gyrocopter to being at 8k net worth, something like that, to get that one item up above him.
Queen of Pain lived.
Ooh, very close to death. Looks like Execration will take the last couple of creeps there. Still a good amount of gold off the Nando. The Death Ward is down. Black Hole still waiting for it.
Dire's bottom tower
Criticism is there on a snowball from Tough. Jumps in onto Raven, but they've got the OD trapped in a pretty awkward
Yeah, Black
position. And the
Hole.
Black Hole! What? Nothing cancelled it. He
0.1 second cast.
accidentally cancelled his Black Hole. They'll send the gyro back. They've killed off the OD, but Sam H just
Sam
jumps
H?
forward into the stuns and into the death of the Queen of Pain. Execration have won this team fight even with the Black Hole completely screwed up. What was that fight?
You know, when Sam H lived barely, after he got stunned by the Enigma, and I think it was the bench. I thought, you know, okay, Enigma, if you black hole there, that was a dead Queen of Pain for sure. Then I kind of waited, and when he went into black hole, it would have been a pretty decent black hole too. 2-3 targets. I couldn't believe that. You know, I can understand why it happens. I think he cast it and thought he canceled it before it actually cast, but you know, they managed to win that fight somehow.
How? Yeah. Oh my goodness. Because that would have caught like the gyro, the OD, and I think the Witch Doctor or something like that. It would have been a pretty damn good black hole with the exorcism going over the top. But maybe it was just that fact, like, he goes in with a black hole, he cancels it, and then TNC he cancel black hole. We've got to continue fighting. They've just wasted one of their big ultimates. Obviously, the Enigma didn't do that on purpose, but it definitely worked out for them. Death Prophet getting so much damage done.
I think the bigger thing was Chen didn't have either the mech or the Hand of God. Queen of Pain barely survived. He used the Hand of God, and also, if I recall correctly, he used the mech in front of his tier 2. So no heals from Chen that fight. That might have been a pretty big reason. So he thought they could really take the fight. Because they have a lineup full of squishies, right? So double heal is going to mean that much more to the heroes. It's going to heal a larger portion. Gonna go make a play on DP, but I'm not sure if they have the easiest.
Do they have what it takes? The swap is there. Venge gets the DP out, and with a Glimmer Cape up, gets her down. Looking for a kill on Venge with the homing missile. It gives them the idea of where she's heading. The vision is there. Sven, oh my god! The correction from Sven comes through and cleaves them down, but Astral holds him in place and makes sure he can't get any damage done. TNC control him up. 1 kill turns into 2 into 3. Where TNC want to be.
Middle tower is under attack.
Huge win for TNC. I think if the Venge was a little closer to the DP, that fight could be completely different. But the DP took way too much damage. Three was swapped out. Because when TNC walked up that hill on the ancient side, that was a great Sven stun, and if he had 4 HP to fight more confidently, that could have been a big silence into AoE nukes.
Getting the turnaround there we're looking for.
Dire's top tower.
But I think it's TNC's, Execration's turn now. There's that Blink Dagger pickup from Enigma, and already it feels like it was not too long ago, but his Black Hole's gone cooldown.
Yeah, they've got all their ultis back up. This is where TNC definitely have to be afraid. Especially since they don't have any good aggressive wards. They can't look for smoke. They don't know where Execration are heading. They've got one observer ward, the Dire, actually, looking for the Spire close to where their tier 2 up at top used to be. The next big thing is going to be Roshan, though. Both teams. Get OD the Aegis, Sven, or DP, give one of them it as well. And Abed, he's getting closer and closer to their Octarine core. TNC's time.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Feels like it's running out. Like, sure enough, they win a team fight, they push in, but it's just like little by little they're chipping away at Execration, whereas Execration have this overwhelming strength where TNC have to realize if they get caught with, a 3-man black hole, Sven can just cleave them all. If they can't get the pick off onto the DP, who's getting tankier and tankier, that Exorcism is going to rip them a new one. TNC have good team fight, but I feel Execration has amazing 5v5 head-on-head, clash to clash team fight here. Why TNC are going to smoke up and for another pick off, and then try and snowball that into something a little bit bigger.
TNC definitely have to be very respectful of the amount of catch and stun. We already saw how many times MH blinked in thinking he could do an easy cleanup, and if Execration is on point, Venge is going to throw that stun, and she's basically die before she can get Dream and 2 auto attacks off. I think Enigmas nowadays should get level 2 Black Hole at level 11 because of the cooldown decrease. It's 200 to 180 now.
It's a pretty increase.
I mean, when you have an Enigma and a DP, which have really long cooldown, I think Enigma should. It's my personal opinion, but put that extra point into Black Hole so that let's say for example, DP's cooldown comes back and like she has the ult, but you want your Cole also to be up, right? So it kind of closes that gap basically.
Especially when you have arcanes, because one of the bigger issues with Enigma is like mana conservation. When you're spamming Eidolons, you're spamming Midnight Pulse and Stun and Mech. Sometimes the Soul Ring doesn't quite cut it. He's got Soul Ring plus arcanes. I'm really with you. I think that he should level 2 ultimate. So it's interesting to see. So I skipped over that one, but at this point, TNC, they're just trying to get as old onto Sam H as they can. The level 11 Queen of Pain with Yule Scepter. The Ags with a point booster now. Roshan's up, and TNC, they've taken good control, shoved bottom lane, they're pushing mid, and they're the ones that can kind of walk into the pit, take it out. The one big issue is the glaring problem, lack of vision. The double tornadoes from Wild Wings will be able to slow down any advance here from Execration, I think.
Looks like it's too late for Execration to contest. Gyro picked up that BKB. But at least Execration have so many BKB piercing spells. They have Tusk's ult, DP's ult, Black Hole, Midnight Pulse, Swap, everything.
Everything. Literally
yeah,
everything. Poor guys. Bottom lane, Glimmer from Tusk. Will be able to TP out here. 4 seconds until that's back. Oh, Willie. Oh, Willie. He's scouted out. They see him, and they have a gem on the Witch Doctor. The TP just cancelled out straight away. Dodge the screen with a snowball, but that will inevitably be his demise. He cannot get away from the gem on the Witch Doctor. See, he comes and keeps that one. Creation. They're all top farming ancients with a Sven. Getting a lot out of this map. A lot more than I kind of expected from Execration to really accomplish after the initial laning phase.
Yeah, we predicted that Execration's either going to have to fight back or kind of avoid fights, but, you know, take objectives of their own, and it looks like they went for the latter. I mean, they couldn't help it because the laning stage didn't go as well as they would have hoped for. Game right now, it could go either way, obviously. Actually, Execration has in terms of gold, they're winning somehow. Not sure where they're getting all that farms.
Sven.
You know, Sven, even after that got his ancient stolen, you click on him right now, he has a respectable amount of items.
Like triple stacking ancients, clearing at triple stacking ancients, like every 3 minutes or so, he's just like clearing through massive stacks by himself. And after that first contest in TNC, they've not warded it. They haven't blocked it, they haven't stopped him from doing it, which is a massive oversight on their part, honestly. Allowing Sven to get this free farm, as he's... What has he got now? BKB, S and Y? 1,000 gold pretty much saved up.
His next item, maybe Blink Dagger? I'm not sure. It might... Blink Dagger... Enigma might be really scary.
Yeah, we've seen a few different kind of weird builds on Sven. We've had like Butterfly Sven at this point, Blink, Aidless are the more common ones. I mean, Assault Cuirass wouldn't be too bad here either. Reduce the armor of TNC, get themselves through. But what he heads into, as the Vlad was actually picked up by AU before his Aghanim Scepter.
Have you seen a lot of Aghanims after the massive nerf to his cooldown?
Yeah, we've seen a fair amount. I mean, the Aghanims was more about like the ancient. When they got buffed up, Aghanim Scepter was a huge item for like a mid-game Chen. Get the 15% bonus HP from Granite Golems. The Fireball on the Black Dragons is insane, honestly. But like I believe a few people I've talked to that like to play. Oh god, are they committing heavily for bot lane? Tier 3. Lift up, but Nando's here with his BKB and God Strength just pummeling. Oh, Blink forward. Queen of Pain.
Oh,
Yule's
that was
dodges
such a
done.
ballsy play.
What a play of the Black Hole comes in, only catches the Gyrocopter, and Enigma caught in the crossfire. Raven heals up, Abed yules himself up into the air, but I think this fight's all over. They'll turn and fight and kill off the DP before she can TP, and they'll even find the Sven off to the side. Well, yeah, that's the Sven. Hiding in the Astral, down he goes. TNC, they catch them off guard.
I'm not sure if that was genius from Sam H or lack of patience from Execration, because the Queen of Pain, she doesn't even have Aegis. She just blinked in and she kind of trusted, she had the confidence to disjoint the Sven stun, and Sven kind of threw the stun, and there was a moment of panic from Execration. Sven just He decided to just go YOLO. He turned on God's Strength and BKB. And Enigma saw that, it was like, let's go, bro. And they jumped in, but the black hole itself wasn't so bad, but rather, I mean, he so much damage. It was a full channel. I'm not sure if the fight would have been less one-sided. They, after having expended both Deep Healed and Black Hole like that, the timing is on TNC right now.
Defending high ground's not going to be easy for Execration, even with Storm being spammed out incessantly. Moving on to the mid-tier 3, which has already taken a fair chunk of damage here.
Radiant
Raven.
structures are fortified.
Self forward. Kind of interesting that he is the one with the Aegis, but he's also the one sitting on the back end. Waiting for the initiation out from Execration as they do push forward from their base, catch someone off guard. Again, it's just it's the weirdest thing. Is one team goes from being having like full vision of the map to having no vision in the areas they need it most. Like neither of the teams has really had the vision they require for the objective they need to take. TNC now do have pretty good vision out on the map because they know they can go out fearlessly and get these observer wards down. But Execration very rarely know where TNC are coming from.
Well, at least the Aegis is down for OD. It'll be a more even fight.
Nando, what you buying?
How many smokes do Execration have? With the warding from TNC, they have 3 wards as opposed to that 1 ward on Execration on Dire Jungle. Execution sort of needs to, they need to get a gem of their own and cancel out the vision or rely on really nicely timed smoke ganks right now.
One on the Venge. Might group up here to try and take it out. Scouting.
Meanwhile, Enigma has enough money to buy BKB.
Damage just blinks straight past it. From the ramp behind the trees, he doesn't see the Enigma or the Eidolons. Damage might be the one that's in a little bit of trouble. He's going to scream this wave, and I guess he'll just away and try and TP out from the side shop. Going to have a great. Oh, RR doesn't get the stun down, and Samh now he gets himself back to safety. The Ice Shard's not going to catch him. Queen of Pain gets herself away. This smoke from Execration is going to come to anything as they go for the kill that looks easy on the Quap. Well, had to act fast, and the rest of his team just weren't ready.
I think he could have Black Gold there, the Queen of Pain, and bought enough time for the other Tusk and the Venge to follow up with their stuns. But him having that BKB, I think he wanted the bigger wombo combo. Samh again, he blinked in so aggressively.
He loves doing this, honestly. He's gonna get found here on the BKB for RR. There's no black hole coming through just yet. They've astraled up one, and the Gyrocop is down, but it's great. The swap does enough. He does get slammed down a little bit by Nando, but look at the tornado. The black hole comes through on the Raven. It's a one-man black hole, but he's being sent back by the Chen, I think. Or not. He stands his ground and fights. He doesn't need to be sent back. He just healed up through it all. Raven is crushing through them all. Nando finally gets the cleave down and takes down two.
Wow.
Oh, the Chen creep working against their master, and Raven, the Soul Siphon Crypt Swarm spam, kills off the Gyrocopter, and Samh silenced and siphoned, and now the Ice Shard push him back away to safety. But where was the Eclipse? Where was the OD? Where was the damage output from this hero? Finally joins the fight again. But Abed keeps himself alive with the Soul Siphon. Blink forward, Sonic Wave, Samh dies to the Crypt Swarm, and the Blink Dagger from Teehee cancelled out. He'll try and catch up to this DP. To try and match the force. Oh god. Execration come out on top.
And I'm not sure if it's intentional, but in a way, we talked about during the draft how TNC don't have very reliable ways to start fights. They have a triple range core. It's sort of all squishy unless they get correct BKB timing. Queen of Pain, who doesn't even have a BKB, keeps on blinking into these places, and you know, at the bottom tier 3 push, it was Queen of Pain that blinked in aggressively and created panic. Execration, and again she kind of blinked in, and it's how the fight started. So I feel like TNC's luck might run out soon. This is already the second big fight that started because of Queen of Pain aggressively blinking in.
Once that flat cannon is down, once the war cry is up from Sven, Jarokop's damage output is, it feels relatively limited. Pull down rocket barrage all you want, the flat cannon is pretty decent, but it's all that like one big burst. If TNC don't kill 1 or 2 heroes from Execration in the first, 3 or 4 seconds of a team fight, Execration are actually pretty good at turning things around. And showed it pretty massively there. Solid leads from him, but Chen creeps. Chen creeps were stood in front of a Witch Doctor and a Chen, who just got cleaved in the backlines. They were trying to stand their ground and fight. Not available to. Now AU has got triple Wild Wing and an Ancient Granite Golem here. They're going to smoke up and try and find that pick off. He's saying there's the lack of initiation, there's no Blink Tide Ravage, there's no Black Hole, there's no Hook Shot or anything like that to get themselves in and actually start things off.
It's the third Roche. They should be more conscious about the Roche. Sven is... Yeah, he's gonna TP as fast as he can to the Roche.
Still scouted, but TNC just waited it out. No Black Hole for 30 seconds. Execration, they might not want to take this. Even with Exorcism up, they're gonna walk themselves down, but it's all too late. A haste, Rune at bot spot. Alphahead thinking about going in. The haste is taken. Nando picks it up. He's found the Chen, but do they have a gem? They can't see him. Astral's up as well as the OD Sonic Wave. Where's the Eclipse? Where's the big ult? He dropped the hammer. He drops the Aegis instead. The swap back onto Abed only puts him close to the Jarkop, but he's healing up through the Soul Siphon. The Eclipse not going to do a damn thing. But the Jarkop has got enough damage between himself and the Queen of Pain. Abed is actually healing up a fair amount from the Exorcism Ghosts and the Soul Siphon. They don't have anything to do with DP. DP escapes. And now they have Black Hole back up. If only it was off cooldown a few seconds earlier. RORR
Thing was dead.
Doesn't have a TP. He's right. Gone. He's done for. But the big question is here, without Aegis, can TNC go and push high ground?
Probably not high ground, I think. They're also sort of out of juice. I was a bit disappointed by the lack of discipline from Execration. Well, first of all, they should have known exactly when Roche is capable of spawning, but the way they were moving seemed like they were split pushing. I mean, Sven was at top, and they sort of forgot about Roche. They were like, oh guys, Roche.
They knew Roche was up. They had the Tusk Sigil scouting it out. They knew it was alive. It was just like the timing of TNC's smoke. They smoked, waited for the Sigil to expire, and they were instantly killing it off. It was like a matter of seconds. Soul Siphon animation bugging out a little bit there, but...
Yeah. But I mean, okay, they had vision of Roche. They knew Roche was up then, but TNC smoked. Even still, I think Execration should have been in a position where they're ready. They have to account for smoke. And Sven and just everyone in general should have been around the Radiant jungle area.
Visibility.
Okay, so they let Roche go uncontested, and that was fine, but they sort of like... They saw the haste rune at bottom, and... I don't know, fighting against both Aegis and Cheese, pretty tough. They didn't have Black Hole either.
Got all their ultimates back up. Now, as RR still has yet to take that second point. Oh. So he's taken a point in stats over the second Black Hole.
I think he should go Black Hole for sure.
Gyro. Fun is there, the damage output from Nando, the good Astral keeps him out of danger for a little while. He is actually dropping very low here, they've got nothing to slow down his Sven, and he's taken out. Damage output from Nando, the Sonic Wave not going to clear him up, the Death Ward finally dropped, and Nando's dead. The physical damage is good enough, Abed fuels himself up, trying to get more DPS out with the Exorcism and keeps himself alive. This DP might be able to 1 versus 4 here, might be able to, but I'm not quite sure it's going to work. They're all such high HP, and his damage output just isn't good enough. The Black... Oh no! RR. Too little, too late.
It was like a second faster. Might have been... Oh, wouldn't probably have led to anything like game changing, but EP might have lived.
Where was the Enigma when Sven initiated, though? It's been caught by something. I didn't see what was up.
Radiant's middle barracks.
There was the point where Sven had like, 3 targets in front of him, Black Hole on top of those 3. Good. BKB, there's nothing to stop them. Must have been like Blink must have been cancelled by like a 10, something like that. But I didn't quite catch it.
Yeah, I thought when Sven first initiated on the gyro, that was a good timing for Enigma to go in when he got defensive astral.
Are you gonna survive here? Gem on the tusk? Oh no, there's too much control. Fueling him, snowballing, drip swarming, spamming out as much as they can. But we're in this weird situation still, where during the period that Execration have used their ultimates and they're all on cooldown, all these long-ass cooldown abilities not available for them, TNC can't capitalize and take high ground or take barracks yet. So it's just this weird back and forth where Execration aren't winning teamfights heavily enough to go and push and do their own thing. TNC are also not winning fights strong enough to go and finish the game.
Kind of a dangerous timing for TNC, as you mentioned. Right now, Gyro does have BKB, and he went for like a stats-heavy build, but he doesn't quite have the damage. He just got that Eagle Horn. But until it's a Butterfly, it's not going to be a huge boost. Whereas OD went for a very slippery, like, Hex, Blink, ATOS. He's going to rely on good position kind of build. So if he ever gets caught out of position, he's going to die in an instant. OD needs BKB, I think, and Gyro needs like BKB and Butterfly. He basically needs 2 more big items to, you know, semi-win a team fight and threaten high ground.
I guess then you're forcing Sven and MKB as well, which may not want to. Satanic and Daedalus are kind of the items you want to try and aim for. Maybe then, you know, MKB might not be necessary if you can catch Gyro +1 in a black hole. You just cleave from the other target onto the gyrocopter and that way. We're still yet to see though. Still yet to see that game-winning black hole or the flight-changing black hole here from the Enigma. They had a tough old time. Jungle being invaded by Chen. They've got.
Come on, man. If he had that second point in black hole, his black hole would be ready right now. Now, you can potentially lose a game because TNC is gonna smoke right now into Radiant Jungle, and Enigma's probably saying, I don't have a black hole yet.
Can't
10
fight.
seconds.
Just wait for 10 seconds, guys. Just hold it out, please. Give me a while. I'll farm this jungle camp. I'll have it soon, I promise. He's level 16 soon as well. You know, he could have level 3 black hole.
They found him. But yeah, they saw him.
Golden Wave, up there, pops the ulti, but Raven already got himself in the BKB. Where's the Enigma? Black Hole got the CB and the Witch Doctor. They've got a big target here and they've killed off 2. Not even losing 1 until a Sonic Wave from Damage clears up the DP and the Mental Spirit. But does Raven have enough damage to kill off Nando? They've got the control him with the toss, but they've got the magic nukes burning through the HP of the Sven, and Nando's caught. Sven's dead. He can't blink, he can't stun, he can't hide. Full team wipe there, but the question is, once again, Heen, where does TNC go from here? Back to Fountain to heal?
Well, I'm sure they're still happy, but yeah, it's just a draft, right? They don't quite have a nice lineup to go high ground with. OD is a very good hero, but probably one of the worst heroes that you can have at war for finishing high ground. Unless like you just kind of like blink uphill and kill everyone in a matter of 10 seconds. But it's all on Gyro to do the heavy lifting and kill structure damage, but that's for that stats heavy build, so you can't really blame him. I mean, they got 1 set of racks. Winning teamfights consistently all game to the lead they had early, and I think their execution is also better than Execration.
Oh, Samh, have they got the control? They've got a Walrus Punch to spam it out, but he's been sent back to base actually. The Yules plus Test the mid combination. Raven left alone though, with all the damage output from Sven, he's just gonna get hit down into the ground. He Tusk gets the kill back on the Tusk, yeah. And Nando should be able to clear up a couple of these Chen creeps. Kills off a Troll and the Black Dragon. Like you said, tier 3 bot. Mid-rack's gone. TNC finally gets some structural damage onto this Radiant base.
I think this game would be a lot harder for TNC, and easier for Execration, I mean, if they did a better job of keeping the DP alive. I think the DP is dying way too easily in these fights. And granted, the Vengeful's been getting picked off at the beginning of the fight, so she's not. She kind of fights assuming she's gonna get swapped defensively, but she later finds out after she dies, yo, where was my swap, man? And like, yo, yeah, I was the first one to die. So with DP surviving for a longer time, has a winning chance in the next fight. What happens is Van and Enigma are gonna go in. They're gonna get a nice combo, maybe like a 2-man black hole into a nice cleave, but BKB duration is already at 5 seconds. So after that BKB ends, Sven keeps on getting kited by the gyrocopter and Queen of Pain, Doctor. So he needs the DP to back him up so that he's not gonna get played with.
Roshan is up. Another quick respawn here for TNC to try and take this one. Again, Aegis and Cheese ready. Pops his head, sees the Roche is up. Start approaching. ED rune up at top. They could be good for Execration. Give it over to the Sven. That extra bit of bonus damage. He's moving his way into an assault. Doesn't mean he has no buyback. I guess he used it, yeah, the previous fight. Buyback on cooldown for Sven for a good 5 minutes. No DP. Buyback is coming back up in 1300 gold. Bought out for a Hex. It looks like Execration are going to go all in for the next fight. Have a Satanic now built up over on the Gyro to keep him alive. All of these defensive abilities can be focused on OD and Queen of Pain.
Not sure if Hex is gonna be, or it was an item that they needed so much, because lockdown isn't so much of a problem right now for Execration. DP's been dying way too easily. Maybe I thought getting like a BKB or Jiva's Guard might have been better. Aggressive swap into Hex, maybe?
They have to go blink Black Hole. Just
swap into Hex?
oh, yep, you're right. Goes for it. Raven's caught, but blink in from Teehee. The standing sequence there. Raven, he has time to put the Satanic. He's back up to full HP. The cleave, the damage, and the God Strength is good, but it's not good enough. The Witch God has dropped his board, and Raven finally dies. But the damage is done. 4 dead from Execration. TNC still have their OD and Queen of Pain pumping out this damage. This is probably it, as TNC take down a second lane of Rax. Execration, all dead, no buybacks. Guess what, Heen? Enigma didn't even get to cast his Black Hole.
Oh, Enigma died like as soon as the fight started. Like execution-wise, all they needed was Venge to swap, the DP to Hex, and the Sven to do damage. And I think Enigma could have stayed on like the tier 4s. But it was TNC's game to lose anyway. Game was sort of drawn out because of the drafts, but they had better execution, better map control, better Roche control. They took Roche 4 times uncontested.
Sure.
Good for them.